of the Stony Brook Community Development District. This is Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022. The time is 6 p.m. We'll let the record reflect that all supervisors are present at roll call, with Supervisor Nebrino participating by conference call. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to allow his continued participation, noting exceptional circumstances.
Make that motion.
I second.
So, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. It's yours, Madam Chairwoman.
Okay, we have Milo on the phone, which is further on in the agenda. We're going to do that first so that he can get off the phone. John, I'm going to let you, Milo is doing the pump house, and there have been some issues with regard to the timing of when he's going to be doing this and when there'll be road closures, and we will have to discuss how we're going to handle that. So, Milo...
Can I go here?
Yes, I'm going to have John work with you on this.
So, yeah, we brought Milo in tonight to just basically describe what and how the process is going to work for the road closure, for the time frame, and what it's going to look like during that 3-day period. Obviously, there's questions of, medical access and EMT, stuff like that, medicine, all kinds of things. So just to give everybody an overview of how it's going to be, just another update. We're going to continue with the emails and continue, in the newsletter. But Milo's going to give a better explanation of what that scenario is going to look like during that 3-day process. So, Milo, if you will, go ahead. It's your stage.
Very good. All right, thanks everybody. First of all, the date that we're going to start the project will be September the 19th. That's a Monday. And on that day, we're going to shut the station down. So we start to extract your station. We'll have a crane there partially on the road. So on that particular day, we'll still have the ability to use one of the lanes. And with John's help, we're going to have 2 people facilitating the ability, if needed, for some traffic for the kids in the morning. You shared that with me this morning. One of the critical things are to make sure that the kids can safely get through that area. And if that's necessary, we can accommodate that on Monday. Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, that is, both of those days. Monday and Tuesday are extraction days. That's the days for removing the stations. Then on Wednesday, it gets a little bit more tricky where we need a little bit more room because we're going to be bringing in the tractor trailer. So we have a crane and a tractor trailer. We're going to need pretty much all of the road lanes right there in front of the pump station. But if that can work for you guys, John, I'm thinking you were talking about the kids in the morning. I don't know how much room is on the opposite side where there is grass, and if you could make a pathway, they could go around. But we will need, for probably half of the day, all right, from about 9 o'clock to about 12 to 1 o'clock, we will have the tractor trailer pretty much in the middle of that road. And that's probably the part we need to discuss. And can we make that happen? Can we carve out that time on Wednesday from 9 to 1 to have that road, detoured off?
One question. Bill Reynolds, do you know what time the last school bus picks up the kids?
About 9. It's a little after 9.
It's a little after 9, probably 9:15.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
would that be Christmas break, though?
9.
Oh, this is September.
September.
Oh, I thought it was December. He said December. I thought he said December 19th. So I'm like, well, wait a minute.
No, it's
Oh, okay.
okay, no, we're not
September.
pushing it off any further.
right.
Miller, is there any way you could start at 9:30?
Yes, and does the community allow us to stay? How late can we stay? I don't want to disrupt the community, but how late are we able to work in the community?
On all 3 days, or particularly that Wednesday during the install?
No, actually, if we start on Monday and Tuesday for extraction later, normally we start at 7:30, 8 o'clock. But if it's 9:30, I would like to at least stay until about 6 o'clock, if that's possible.
Okay, that would be, yeah, as long as we have the one lane open on Monday and Tuesday, you can start earlier. It would be that Wednesday that the road's going to be completely closed, and I would like to be able to get all the kids to the buses and back. So I wouldn't have a problem with you starting earlier on Monday and Tuesday.
There will be a return, though, obviously the kids get out of school also at 2:10 at Pinewoods.
Right.
So there'll be a time from, let's say, 2:15, by the time, and even before that, because a lot of parents on their golf carts will be coming down to pick up their children. So from about 2:15 to
3 o'clock?
almost 3, yeah. It's going to be, because some parents stay behind, I know because I pick up my kids, so I see half maybe leave right then and there.
So would Milo or the crane service have like flagmen? Or
We're
would
going to
that
be out there with
something
them
we would
during
do?
traffic. We're going to help with traffic.
No, on Monday, Tuesday, one
Monday and
lane.
Tuesday. We'll have one lane, and Crosby's already ordered detour
We got
stop.
detour signs, stop signs.
But if the kids get out of school at 2 o'clock, Milo, can you guys stop working for 45 minutes? Let us have one lane?
Yes, we will. We'll do that. We will, I should have the rake out of the way, and so we'll have the lane open, and we'll stop the crane moving for that period of time, so it's safe. And John will allow his team to direct the traffic around our crane, which is not going to be operational during that time for safety reasons.
Okay. Okay, so
And
that,
also, Milo, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck, you can actually work in here till 7. Also,
Oh, if that's okay with you guys, I just wanted to know when we have to stop. I don't want to disrupt, the community. So just let us know how late we can, because we'll make up the time. But again, we don't want to, be there when we shouldn't be there working.
no, 7 o'clock would be fine. Now, I do have a question.
That's perfect.
The crane will be here all night,
for 3 days.
okay?
Now, we can move it. We discussed about moving it either
Right.
down behind 10, there's like a flat area there, or take it up and kind of put it in that field over by the reclaim that fills the pond over there.
Okay.
And park it over there. Just keep it off the path and off, and out of the roadway.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
And I'm also working on getting a lesser size crane that will be able to leave the property on all 3 days. So we are, I don't want anything out there exposed. This way I can leave that and it'll stay pretty much safe for the evening, so people can run their cars with no problem. They don't have to dodge anything. We'll clear the roadway when we leave on all 3 days.
Okay. Right, hold on one.
How late do they want to stay working?
He said 7 o'clock would be good?
It needs another hour to finish it up. That would not be a problem.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
thinking too, because 8 gets dark anyway, and
Yeah.
that time, especially that time.
Milo,
That when they were repaving the road.
okay.
It doesn't make sense to ramp up and have to come back. If they can get her done in a reasonable time before it's pitch black out, I don't see a problem.
Okay, Milo, that's the president of the HOA, so
Do you guys have to make a motion to allow for an extra hour for 3 days? No?
that would...
That's HOA.
Check
Yeah,
says
that's
no.
HOA.
If they need an extra hour, I don't see a problem with that, John.
Okay, good. You're-
That's
Just
great, guys. Fantastic.
Okay, hold
for the
on.
board's knowledge,
And-
Wednesday,
and-
October 5th is no school, no buses.
They, yeah, and that would be great, but it's already been booked, and we booked this, but thank you.
Yeah, it's one of these projects, it's like, it's an 8-9 month.
My concern, what equipment will you have that you're I'm just concerned about, I don't want any kids horsing around with stuff.
It's gonna be more materials than equipment being left, if anything, right? Milo? Would it be like, what are you thinking, like the shafts for the intake shafts for the wells, for the pumps?
Right, that is correct. It's going to be, when we do the offload, we'll be using the aerial, and all the pump stations will be, kind of spread out in different strategic areas, and then we'll start assembling as we're putting it into the pump house. At that time, that's what 90% of that will be exposed, and we will be putting caution tape around. However, they won't be in a building or locked up overnight. So the concern at that point, whatever's left out, we'll try to safety everything, but if somebody was mischievous, they could go in and they might take a box of parts. We're going to try to put as much as we can inside the pump station, but the bigger stuff that we didn't trade in the day before will be outside of the pump station.
Okay.
And with that being said, where it's gonna be at, the security guard can just drive by. I mean, it's not like, it'll be right there if anybody, it's 3 days of school, it's a Monday night, Tuesday night,
Why take any risk?
you know.
Hire a sheriff and put a sheriff there on detail to guard it.
Well, that was my question, that I really,
Why take any kind of risk?
I don't want to take any risks with it. So that's something that we can work on ourselves. We don't need Milo on here, but I
And to
do.
make it easier, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, to make it easier, we're going to bring trailers and such, so we will try to remove and take with us some of the stuff. I'll make it so that you guys aren't burdened on a lot of that, and talking with John, we'll make sure that we secure things to a point that, even if somebody did ride their bike by, there's nothing going to be taken away or damaged. So I'm going to be very conscientious about that.
Okay. And John, I did talk to Stanley and to Tammy and about possibly hiring one of their security guards and paying them just the overnight to kind of be there. So we can discuss that after the fact, but I'm just concerned that I really don't want any issues. Okay. So we're good with, so we'll have the road open all 3 days. On Wednesday, the road will be...
On the third day, though, we'll have to close it from 9. If we start late, it'll be 9 to at least 1 o'clock, but that would work because what you're saying, if I'm not mistaken, John, you said that about 2 or 2:30 is when they get out of school?
Right.
Yeah, it'd be from 9:30 to 1:30.
Yeah, 9:30 to 1:30, and we can, if you guys have to stop for a little while and redo it, but we'll have people there to do that, so that
Okay.
I will make sure that the community knows and that the emergency services and the sheriff all know that from 9:30 till 2 o'clock that they're using those back streets, they'll have to come in the back way. So I'll put that in the newsletter and make that work. Okay.
I'm going to be the one to go ahead and say it now. This is all contingent upon good weather.
Yeah.
If we get lightning storms, something like that, they can't operate a crane,
Oh, really?
So
Well,
just,
okay.
that's the, next factor. Always
Right.
in September, mid-September, hurricane,
Okay.
so.
Well, that's, again.
And we haven't had rain here in a while, but we need it.
Okay.
So basically, anybody east of Langhome and the main road, they can't have any kind of service come in
Well,
on
it
that
would-
Wednesday, at least not during that period.
Well-
They can't come through the gatehouse.
So we're gonna have, Milo, if I'm not correct, we're gonna have it so if an ambulance or something like that comes through, like we're gonna be able to get.
Well, John, what I spoke with Stanley about, and I was speaking with Tammy, all the emergency vehicles can open the back gate
On their own accord?
on their own accord.
Oh.
So it would be Braxfield, Weymouth, Knighton, and Lancaster are the roads that are going to be impacted. I'm going to have flyers put up to give out at the guard station. I was talking to Stanley and Tammy, and what they're going to try to do is get somebody there, so if a resident's coming in, oh, where are you going? Weymouth, all right, you're going to have to go back around the other way. FedEx, where are you going? I'm going to Weymouth and Burwich. Okay, well, you can do Burwich, but you're going to have to go out and let us know when you're coming in the back gate. So I have to work with the logistics with them, but the fire, the ambulance, and the sheriff will all be notified that they have to come in that way.
Great.
Just that Wednesday, just during that time period,
Great.
so.
Yeah, we're talking a 4, maybe 5 hour period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it's good because
Yeah.
the roads will be open, because Monday they have trash and recycling, and I was concerned.
Right, that's right. Trash comes through on Monday. I forgot to tell you that, Milo. And
Yes, it
recycling,
just-
because now, here recently in Lee County, a lot of places, they've done like a dual, both trash and recycling on the same day now. The pickup's on the same day, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Monday and Tuesday, with the help of John and the team, as long as, they're initiating the one-lane traffic, we will have an open lane all day long. for any vehicles on one side. It's just Wednesday becomes the critical, because I have a secondary piece of equipment in there. So if we can accommodate that between 9 and 1, but I will tell you that if anything needs to move at John's discretion, I will stop the project and we will move the rig or whatever we have to do to accommodate the need for that passage if it's necessary between 9:30 and 1:30 on Wednesday.
Okay, perfect. Does any board member have any other questions? Okay,
I feel good about it.
good about it. Okay, so we're all set. All right.
Thank you, Milo.
Milo, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Milo.
We'll see you on the
You're very welcome.
19th.
It's my pleasure.
We'll see you on the 19th.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
19th it is.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Yes, Lloyd?
If you need some help with people getting around, I can get some people that can help us if you want to volunteer to
Okay.
help direct, so let me know.
Yeah,
that'd
because
be
we're going to
great.
have to have, cars coming this way, so these people are going to have to be stopped and back and forth. And the same
If you
thing.
need help, let me know.
The other thing that I'd also would like help with is in the afternoon with the kids on their bicycles and walking, that I don't want to just send them, I'd kind of like people staged along there so that they don't get off track. So, yeah, we can sit down and talk about that.
Let me know.
Okay, thank you.
See, and one of the things that would help, I don't know, it makes more sense to me to stop traffic at the west end of Stratham by 17,
Right,
to stop it there. And that gives us that whole lane, and then turn people around to come in, and then obviously everybody on Stratham knows to go that way to leave.
that way.
For that time period.
And that way it'll give us more of to pile up the cars.
Not really pile up the cars, but it'll give us more, it'll just be more room for them to work.
Okay.
For that time period.
Okay, that's fine.
Way more room for them to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as long as Stratham can get in and out on the other
Stratham,
side.
yes, absolutely.
Okay. And
They'll be going through the front though.
They'll be going through,
They'll
yes.
be going through the front,
They'll
and
be
then we're
going
gonna
through
cut
the
it
front.
off at Lancaster. Right there, Lancaster has to go out the back.
So Lancaster,
Right
Wait a
at
minute.
Lancaster, it's gonna get cut off, they have to, everything from Lancaster has to go out the back, and then right there at Stratham, at the pump house has to go out the front.
out the front, okay. So,
Yeah, we'll have it closed off, so basically that end of Stratham will be closed off, and there'll be like barriers there.
Right.
And then we'll have barriers going across the road, up at 17, up at that part of Stratham. So
okay. And Bill, I did speak with Nicole, and there is a way that I can give her an email, and she can set it up to send it out every other day.
Yeah.
And then that week before to send it out every day to remind everybody. And I will be putting stuff in the newsletter, and I will be putting some flyers together to put here and at the guardhouse. Now, of course, we're still going to get people say they never heard about it, but
Oh, you know that, Ron.
I heard that rumor.
And what I was just speaking of was just for that 9:30 to 1:30
Yes.
period, that day on that Wednesday, that's where we're gonna close it off at.
Right.
Obviously, Monday and Tuesday, we're gonna have an open lane, so everybody can move.
Come back and forth, yeah. But as long as we have people to kind of,
We will, we'll have some people up there explain, hey, for this time period, you gotta go around.
Right.
We'll
And
be
go-
able to explain it too.
yeah. I just want to make sure with the kids on their bikes and golf carts and
Absolutely.
stuff going. Okay,
I mean, to be honest with you, and it's for what it's worth, it's one of the few, Chuck may be able to speak on this, he's seen quite a few pump houses. It's one of the few that's on the main road of a community like that. Usually they're off somewhere to cut.
well, that was good planning. Okay,
I'm sure it was the cheapest place they could find to put it.
There you go.
the least expensive.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, for the community, thank you very much for doing that. Do we have anybody that has any public comments? Santos, you have 5 minutes?
Excuse me.
I'd like to ask the board if they would consider moving agenda number 5 to number 1, the effect of the Series 2022 bond and the effect on assessment. And, we'll do that later. And I was able to get on the webpage today, and I finally looked at the different interest rates. and I was surprised to see they only go up, not down. Are they, Chuck, are they fixed rates for the 30 years?
Yes.
They're fixed.
They're-
Do they ever go down if we wanted to refinance because they dropped to zero for some
You
change?
you can refinance at year 10. You have a 10-year no-call provision, so you cannot refinance for the first 10 years, but once you get to 10 years, then you can refinance. And you'll
If
see,
you look at it,
one of
it's-
the interest rate breaks or CUSIP change at year 10.
Okay, because the interest rates for exempt, non-exempt interest confuse the hell out of the community. But the main question is, and I think I got the answer at last meeting, that the rate for 30-year bond that we'll see on the general fund as a line item as at 5.19%. Is that still valid?
That's the blended rate. That's the blended rate. The blended rate.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. But it's fixed. So in other words, the assessment will be the same every month for the present. That's good to hear. Okay, the next item is, got the rate fixed 30 years, is the bond. I was told it was 12 million, not 13 million, 12,080,000, right on the nose, supposedly. We have backup for 11 million. 1 million is for contingency. Could we get line items, Chuck, for what makes up the other 1,080,000? You know, how's it coming as an assigned so-called
Sure.
project?
Sure, we were issued sources and uses of funds in order to net 7 million for the building and 4 million for infrastructure, 3 of which is known numbers. One is an actual contingency. You had to issue about 12.1 million. And the reason for that is you have cost of issuance.
Yeah, that's going to be a line item?
You have debt service reserve.
Another line item, okay. Do you know what those numbers, that's the only two?
I don't have them off the top of my head, but I did hand them to you at the last meeting because I had an extra set of them that I'd handed out to you.
And then you took them back, remember the
Oh, that's
nice
right.
thick
We
book
did-
you
we
had?
did- we did
We
play-
never get to see.
We did play that game with you, didn't you?
But that's
I will
besides.
get that to you.
So
It's
you
very
can-
straightforward, yes.
maybe we can put that on, or say it out loud so we can get on the video.
Well, I think the cost of issuance is basically around $190,000.
I don't have a pen.
You didn't bring a pen?
I
Really?
did, but when I took some
on,
out of my
Santa.
pocket getting here, something in the garage, the parking lot.
Should be about 190,000.
Right.
Because I think one was
The cost of issuance.
basically just under 120, and the other's
I'll get it.
just under $67,000, so
How much?
190,000,
Okay, that's it?
roughly.
Roughly,
Well, we
yes.
got 1,080,000 to account for.
Well, the million was contingency for
No,
what,
the contingency was included in the 11 million. Yeah, it was 10 plus 1. 7, 4, and 1, and another 1 for the million.
okay.
So there's
Here,
the
let
other
me
million,
run through
80,000.
the, let me
Okay.
run through these numbers with you, okay?
What's it?
Must be on page 1. Where's page 1?
What? So I get it on video when I... Sure. Yeah.
Okay. You start off with a total between the two bonds, because there's a tax exempt and a taxable.
Here we go.
Issue amount is $12,080,000.
Right.
You net out a premium, and that brings that number down to $11,988,574.
Premium.
Then you have a debt service reserve fund, which in this case is only 50% of the max annual debt service for each of the two bond issues, totaling $399,416.88. You have a capitalized interest period that takes us through to the first payment date of November 1, 2022. That's $157,813.
Hold it, Chuck. confusing the hell out of me.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you.
that's what's the problem is you can,
That's fine,
Okay.
yeah.
And-
too much detail. Get down to the resident level where we don't know what's going on.
Well, I'll send you this sheet, and it spells it out pretty
Okay.
pretty succinctly, so.
All right, and then the assessment for the bond.
We'll talk about that when we get.
Yeah, but just to make a comment, it looks like the reserves that you still have in this budget is going to be reduced to pay for the bond. We got 800 and some odd thousand dollars in the,
No,
No,
that's what it says in this thing,
okay.
no? As the fund ending balance. 800,
that fund ending balance makes up your reserves and also and includes your November 1, 2023 payment, because you have to leapfrog that. Your November 1 payment comes due before you actually get the revenue for that particular fiscal year, because the fiscal
yeah,
year
for
starts.
2023, we'll see that reserve go down
No.
as a payment towards the bond.
You're correct. The debt service reserve gets reduced as the principal is reduced each year.
I don't know what that means either. We had $630,000 from the old bonds that went into that ending balance that's going to be paid towards the bond assessment. That's what it was for. You know, the two bonds that it is, it ends up that we could have been reduced $630,000.
Okay, he's talking about the infrastructure bond and
I guess I
the,
don't know what that-
okay.
Remember,
The money
Chris-
the money that we have in reserves now is for catastrophic and the working capital. And we need to have that money. That can't be used to pay something else. We need to have that in reserves.
Yeah, that's a totally different fund, and
Yeah, I
they
understand
separate the
that.
firewall.
But you put the money that was supposed to come out of the funds, the assessment of the two ending bonds. You didn't do that. You put it up into ending balance. You kept it out of my pocket. Yes, you did.
The general
Oh, no,
fund
no, I
and the debt
think-
service
well-
funds are not commingled.
I think what you're talking about is the $200,000 that we have for landscaping.
That's not the point I'm making.
Well, I don't understand your point.
Well, we had two bonds, the debt and the one for the
Okay, hold
lakes,
on
that
one second.
added $630,000.
When we were paying the infrastructure bond years ago, and then when that was paid off, and then we needed to build reserves,
Right.
that we didn't reduce that. So he's saying that we took that money that should have gone towards the bond, and where is that now? But
Can't hear you.
that had to go to build the reserves, because the auditors needed us
Right,
to have
you build the reserves,
So
right.
that's what we have, money. That's the reserves that we have now.
But you don't need it.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't. Tell me what you need it for.
Okay, we have to have catastrophic, a reserve for that.
That's about $150,000, because you increase your insurance to take care of some of those
Okay.
problems we had with the last
Also, we have
hurricane.
a working capital to maintain for a period of time should we close. According to the audit, we had to maintain that. And it's not
Yes.
just, we talked about this over.
I know, but the numbers you put in there for 600,000 was a number that Chuck threw out. It was it's only about 300 for both of those.
No, and according to the audit, we just have a recent audit, and they were in agreement that what we have is what we have.
Thank you.
Okay,
I think he's talking about the $500,000 between the $300,000 for
Right.
catastrophe and the $200,000 for irrigation.
Right.
Or not irrigation, landscaping.
landscape. So, but he's saying that.
But we're going to talk more about that.
Okay, yes, okay. Yes, come on up. Can I have your name, please?
I'm Juanita Stefano. I live on Braxfield Loop. First time meeting comer, I'm embarrassed to say. I did get some information from our board members over there, so I don't have a lot of questions, but a lot of my neighbors didn't understand the purchase of Duffy's. They were kind enough to explain, it makes sense to me that we did it, and I'll be able to take that back to everybody that doesn't seem to understand why we did that. I appreciate everything that you guys do for us, and I really only have one issue on Braxfield Loop, the wall that's behind our houses. we've come up, I can't tell you how many times to Tammy or whatever about the fact that it looks so terrible. And year after year, we're just told you can't get anybody to do the work on it, to clean it, repaint it. The trees that are not ours, that are the palm trees that are either dying or whatever, we've all paid money out of our pocket to either grind the stumps out or, get rid of the trees or trim the trees, and the wall is horrendous back there as far as aesthetics. So, and we understand that you guys, so I just wanted to basically say it would be nice if that would be maintained. It's way worse than the driveways, I just want to say.
Chuck, is that our wall?
What's that?
The wall behind
Braxfield
Braxfield?
Braxfield.
So
Yeah, I believe so.
It's on the
Yeah.
power
I
line.
believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what, we don't really understand, because we kind of battled this before, there's a lot of vegetation in the back. Nobody really wants to admit who owns that vegetation back there, but it grows up, it's a hurricane issue,
Who owns it is the county.
and they won't,
They own that water treatment plant out front. So we've been back there, now I've been here almost 11 years, we've been back there once. We have to ask for permission to go back there, we could get the vines and stuff off. As far as the queen palms, all the queen palms that, since I've been here that have died from Ganoderma. So you can't plant anything back there,
it won't
or at
live.
least, what, 4?
4 years.
4 years.
Okay,
And that's a law, actually. It's not, it's just, the other tree will get it die, basically.
right, I've heard that.
But the pressure washing, that's not up my alley unless they make it, unless they want it to be. We've never pressure washed it, but that's something that could be.
Or even painting it or maintaining it, because if we would just do it, then it would
Now, with
look...
that being said, along that wall, I don't know if there's an easement off of it, I'm sure there might be, but there is a lot of people that have planted things.
Yeah, there are.
Like, it's impassable in between a lot of homes. Like, if you're walking behind the homes, you gotta stop and go around because there's so much vegetation, or there's an ornamental, well, because the backyards, that's one of the few areas in Stony, there's very small backyards, as you know. You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they kind of slope up, right, towards it at the very back,
Right,
kind of
right.
go up towards the wall. So people tend to make like a little decorative type.
Well, they
thing.
don't want to look at the wall, because the wall looks so bad.
So, I mean, there is some issues there, painting.
Yeah, it really does need...
Getting back there, getting the permission to get back here.
I was told that if you had your vegetation back there, if you planted back there, that was at your own deal and it wouldn't be maintained,
And I
but
don't
we
know.
didn't plant.
And I don't know anything about, I mean, I'm talking on the other side of the wall. The stuff that grows up, the vines that grow from the
Oh,
other
yeah, that's
side, we get back,
But it's frustrating, I guess, to me as a homeowner, that I would hope that my community would be able to help us out and try and figure out, we couldn't get
come
any...
over the game plan or something.
Right, exactly, because it really is a problem in hurricane season. We had things hit our screen cage and it all came from over the wall. So if there's anything that you guys
I think what would need to happen is, one, go into that bylaw section of that wall. I know there's some issues about that.
Okay.
And we may, I don't know, as far as pressure washing it and painting it, if that's
You
the
guys
case, you're gonna have to.
painted it before.
You're probably gonna have to go to some homeowners and say, hey, we gotta remove this.
Yeah.
This has to come out.
Okay.
It's almost an all or nothing.
It is.
So-
It is. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
But we were going by what we were told, not to, if you planted something, you would have to take it down. I mean, we were, complying.
If you plant something, you have to take it down in the case they were to do something.
Right,
to the wall.
exactly. It's
Yeah, I don't-
because there is an easement and it doesn't
Okay.
belong to us.
And I'm not
basically.
sure aware of that, but
And
I'm
I'm-
assuming
I've been
easement
here-
off that wall too, maybe a 3-foot easement.
The district owns the parcel that the wall's on.
Oh, really?
District owns the parcel. The road on the other side of that is actually owned by City of Estero, Village of Estero.
Right.
Originally Lee County, that goes down to Wildcats Maintenance Facility. So
Yeah.
that's a public right-of-way.
But it's locked, the gate's locked. When we have to go through that crap plant, they have to give us permission to let through their gate.
Well, have to get permission to access, but you have the right to access it, so.
Well, if you guys could do anything for us back there, that would be great. I agree with
I
all
mean, we can go in there,
that.
my guys can go in there and definitely get the vegetation, if there's any vines or anything. I can get somebody to walk, talk, maybe even like kind of hold a wand and maybe.
Well, let's go back and look at it, John, see what it's going to entail, come back with the cost, not that you're paying for it, I would just like to know what the cost is.
Right.
Because it is our wall, and, take it, so we will look at it.
Because, I mean, we like the front, we like what you guys are doing as far as keeping the community from the, from the street level looking good, but we got another issue at the back.
Okay.
And I have a lot of neighbors that's why I'm here, because
Okay.
nobody else could make it.
Okay.
But again, thank you for everything you guys do, thank
Okay,
the
we will,
homeowners.
Bonnie will look at it, and,
If somebody could let me...
do you have an email address?
Yes, I do. It's Booski, B-O-O-S-K-I, 31,
SKI 31.
@hotmail.com.
Okay, I'll have them, we'll look at it, and we'll get the
Just any
CDD email.
assistance would be great, because all that dirt, they have those pepper trees, I think. or-
And the thing is, we can't cut what's on the other side. We can only do what's on our side. But if we can work with the village, we'll see if they can help us on that side.
Anything would be great.
Okay, so,
Sorry, excuse me, is that who you said owns the truck, Village of Estero now?
The right-of-way, in according to the property appraiser's website, is
It was Lee County.
it's Village of Estero, yeah.
Well, that may
It
have
was
changed,
originally Lee County, but village took over all the local roads.
So do we have to ask the village?
So wouldn't we have an easement on both sides of the fence?
Oh, your fence is
I think it's
right
like
in the
10.
middle of the parcel, so you
Okay.
have,
You have 10 feet.
So it's
I think that's what
technically
we were
Village
told.
of Estero's fence?
no,
No, it's
the
our
parcel
fence.
that you own, the fence is right in the middle of the parcel.
I see.
okay.
Okay, I'm going to let you guys get back to the budget.
Okay, all right, Bonnie,
So I'm
somebody
going to
will,
say goodnight. Thank you.
okay.
And if you could let me know, that'd be great.
Okay,
Thank
well, if your email, Bonnie, your email will come from the village, from the CDD board?
That's fine.
Okay,
Great. Thank you
All right,
very much.
thank you.
Have a nice evening.
you as well. Yes, Lloyd?
Maybe Chuck can find it, but I remember